beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
The Hispanics are speaking up, the Latinos are speaking up because they are losing their people on daily basis. I mean, they are losing their people to deportation. The ISIS deportation, it's not ending anytime soon. It's more serious than a lot of people thought it would be.
It's time to speak up. ICE is now removing undocumented foster children from their foster homes. Removing foster children from their foster homes for deportation. Y'all, I've been working in the foster care system for 28 years. I'm a former foster mom, and I adopted 4 children from foster care and fostered many others. And I have represented hundreds of children who are in foster care. And one thing all of these children have in common is they have all been through trauma to one degree or another. We are taking children who have already been through trauma and removing them from foster homes for deportation. There will be a reckoning for this in this life or the next. For those of you who are supporting this, there will be a reckoning for this in this life or the next. And for those of you who are sitting silently by while these atrocities are unfolding before our eyes, there will be a reckoning. Go love your neighbor.
The comment section of this video is quite interesting. A lot of people reacted. So let's go down there and see what people are saying. They are in foster care, so they don't have parents. Where are they deporting them to? And wait, that's a good question. The children are in foster care because they don't have parents, because they need protection, they need safety, they need help. So if you're choosing to deport hopeless, harmless, helpless children, where are you deporting them to? Do you know your country of origin? And if you do, who are you deporting them to? Who is going to be there for them? Or is this a case of, I don't care, I just want them out? You don't care if they survive afterwards? That's just basically what the case is. He just doesn't care, he just wants them out. Let's read more comments. What about our people? What about them? You have a US citizenship, privilege enough, yet you can't do anything with that. People come with not knowing the language, no money, and yet do better than you. Think about it. I think this comment is for those citizens that are jealous of the immigrants that are performing more than they are. Some citizens often voice out their grievances, their envy towards immigrants that are performing way better than they are financially. I get this person's point. You live in the US where they claim they have endless opportunities. You are a citizen, which makes life easier for you, or which is supposed to make life easier for you, but you're refusing to seize those opportunities. I'm not in those people's shoes, so I don't know what their struggles are, but this is what a lot of people think, and someone just left it in the comment section. So let's read more comments. I am Puerto Rican, a citizen, and my fiance is a Dominican, born and raised. He and his family worked hard for citizenship, and I pray everyone does. I'm working to be a psychiatric nurse, and he's a dispel mechanic. Our government doesn't care about our own children, citizens, and they are suffering. What you are hearing now, it's new. I don't understand why people think if our people are suffering, we could help everyone else. I'm trying to understand the person's comments. Okay, the person said that she's in the US, she's a citizen right now because she married someone that is a citizen. So if she's saying that the government should not help because they have more people to help in the US, I think that's what she's talking about. Let's take this comment. If a child is in foster care, it's because they need protection. That's it. They are helpless. They are hopeless. Deporting them isn't just sending them home. It's throwing them back into danger. Who are you deporting those children children to? That's the question. If they had parents, if they had people that cared, I don't think they would end up in foster care. These kids didn't choose to come here, and punishing them for that is cruel. Foster care is about safety, not citizenship. And if our people means Americans, remember it's American families and workers caring for these children. Protecting them is protecting our people. True talk. But I don't think the government cares about all that, because going to deport foster children, it's taking it too far. If you're so concerned about people leaving the country, can you explain to the people why you went to South Africa to import white South Africans that were living their best life in South Africa? We all know that there is apartheid in South Africa, and the black South Africans, the original owners of the country, are heavily marginalized. But the government claimed that there was genocide, that the farmers were being killed, which a lot of people came online to debunk. He went ahead to import over 8,000 people, granting them asylum. We all know what this is all about, honestly. I don't think we should even spell it out. We all know what this is all about. Let me read more comments. Obama did the same thing for 8 years and caged them, separated from the families. Obama did it, but that doesn't make it right. It's not about who did it. It's about, is it right? Is it right for those poor children, those innocent children that just want to survive? I strongly believe that Trump and his administration are working with the cartels and deporting children so they can be used to work for the cartels. I have no idea. Trafficking little girls, still have no idea. This isn't deportation, it's kidnapping. It's really sad.
Come with me to self-deport my mom after being in this country for 36 years. My stepdad is staying behind and he'll join her in a couple of months. They've been together for 25 years. We're driving from LA down to TJ to drop her off at the airport, and she'll be flying to Mexico City. After driving an hour and 30 minutes, my sister realized she forgot her passports at home. This was her heartbroken that she wasn't going to be able to drop off my mom all the way in Mexico. So she drove back home to meet my stepdad halfway, hoping that she will make it back on time before my mom's flight. The good thing is that we gave each other more than enough time to have brunch in TJ while we waited for her. We got to the airport with 3 hours to spare. We checked in her bags and we just waited in the lounge. This is the good thing about Mexican parents trying to check in so early, because now we have all this time to spare. Look at Miss Diva getting ready. And my sister made it with 45 minutes to spare. You made it! My mom is leaving behind 3 grown-ass kids and 3 grandchildren. We are doing this all while some of the biggest ICE raids are going on back home. With my mom's complicated legal status, she decided to do this in her own terms. She has no criminal record, a hardworking taxpayer who has been working 12-hour shifts since she was 15, 6 days out of the week. She never asked for a handout. She didn't get food stamps. She didn't get welfare. She didn't even ask for child support when my dad wasn't in the picture. She asked me to not cry, to let her go in peace, to take care of myself and not to trust all these new people I'm meeting. And I told her I'm protected, to not worry about me, and that I'm gonna go see her very soon. As the eldest sister, I stayed strong. I wanted to make sure that she knew that everything was gonna be okay. But this was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. The little one, on the other hand, she was struggling. Even though we're all sad to see her go, my mom hasn't seen her mom in 22 years. She's 51 and she's going back home to Guerrero, Mexico to retire. After so many years of being here, she forgot that that was the original plan. I hate that all of this had to happen for her to make this decision, but I have a good feeling that this is going to be good for her. This was her finally meeting with my grandma after driving 5 hours from Mexico City to her town. Mamita! If you have your parents close to you, don't forget to hug them today. And for everybody that voted for this, fuck you.
That video got me emotional. I felt a certain type of way. Do you know what it is for you to leave your family, for you to leave a country where you grew up because you don't have papers, for you to move to a different country to start all over again, start a new life? It's hard, it's difficult. And you know what it is for children to watch their parent leave them behind? Their life just went upside down, honestly. Especially if those children are still very young. Parents are being forced to leave their children behind because they don't have their papers, because they don't have documentation. It's very hard. This deportation is separating families. It's causing havoc. It's causing pain to people.
Miguel, 25 years is a long time. You should have gotten your papers already. I get comments like this all the time, which just tells me that they have no clue how the system works. I was brought here at the age of 9 9 as an undocumented immigrant. That was in the year 2000, and I have been undocumented for 25 years. And I'm sharing my story to bring awareness because I understand a lot of people just have no clue how this thing works. And unfortunately, they'll have an inch deep opinion on an issue that's a mile deep in complexity. If that's you, I hope that you make an effort to listen. I was undocumented from the age of 9 all the way up until I was 22 years old. Technically, I'm still undocumented, but I'll get to that. In the year 2020, President Barack Obama created DACA, which stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And it doesn't give me legal status, but it defers immigration action essentially until they can figure out what to do with me. So even though it does not give me legal status, I was able to get a work permit, a social security number, and a driver's license. President Barack Obama did this because he tried to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which is just a big word for trying to fix the immigration system holistically, meaning stronger border security, but also figuring out what to do with the 11 plus million people who are here undocumented. Because anybody in their right mind would understand that removing 11 million people, which is probably a much higher number by now, is not only a logistical nightmare, but it's also going to be incredibly expensive. Not just for the removal, but also the economic impact of removing 11 plus million workers. Not to mention the chaos that we are seeing right now. And the family separation, since a lot of these people are integrated with American families. I'm married to an American citizen. My wife is from North Carolina. I have 2 American children and another one on the way. And if you can't tell from my accent, I've been here for a really long time. I went to elementary, middle, and high school here. I grew up here. I now have 2 businesses, multiple properties. I employ 6 people, and I pay a lot of money in taxes. So not only do I think it would be unjust to remove these people and rip families apart, but economically and logistically, it's nonsensical. Being given a work permit back in 2012 opened up so many opportunities for me, which actually motivated me to become an entrepreneur and help others do the same. Now, again, because DACA does not grant you legal status, it also prevented me from leaving the country. So I was not able to go back to my country for 23 years. I had multiple family members die, and I was not able to even say goodbye to them, nor was I able to go bury them. But a couple of years ago, my grandfather passed away, and I requested what's called a humanitarian advance parole, which under DACA allows me to leave and have a legal point of entry. This is really important because in 2017, I married my wife, who again is an American citizen. I began a different immigration process for her to petition me to have a residence and then eventually a citizenship. This process has now taken 8 years. So far, I'm about $20,000 in, including attorney's fees and immigration fees and all kinds of other fees. I have filed countless applications. Now, when I entered the country at the age of 9, I had no documentation, so I was an undocumented 9-year-old. I had no legal point of entry, which is required to have my wife petition me without having to leave the country. That's called an adjustment of status. That's why other people who came here legally and then get married, they just have their status adjusted and they are given a residence. I was not able to do that. Not only that, I had to follow a different path that has taken so far 8 years. I've literally been waiting this long. The path that I'm on requires for me to leave the country and request a legal entry, meaning I have to have an interview at a U.S. consulate in Mexico. Now, I've been waiting for this interview for, again, 8 years. Back in April, I received an email that said I had to go to my appointment within 3 weeks. I just found out my wife is pregnant with our 3rd baby, and due to the political climate, I didn't want to leave the country and get stuck in Mexico and leave my pregnant wife here with my 2 children. So we decided to postpone it. Now I can go back and file the other process, which allows me to do an adjustment of status, and we're considering doing that. All this to say, it has not been for lack of effort. And thankfully, I'm close to being at the end of my process. And I say all of this because most people think it's something you can do very easily, and it's not the case, especially for somebody who came as an undocumented child. But more importantly, I think it's super important for people to not dehumanize immigrants. I mean, we use terms like alien. And when you use those kind of terms that dehumanize people, it allows you to think of them and treat them in a different way than you would like to be treated. Because yes, we are from another country, but we are human beings just like you. We have the same basic fundamental needs, which should help you have more compassion and empathy for these people. Because if you were in your country and you had to leave due to violence, hunger, need, not being able to provide for your children, out of basic fundamental human needs, it's very likely you would do the same thing. Especially if you are a parent, please hear me out. What would you do if your child was hungry, if your child was in danger, if you felt like you could not provide them a better life? Now, I know some people will say, well, they should have come in legally from the start. What you don't understand is that people from certain countries don't have the ability that Americans have to go pretty much anywhere they want in the world. I'm from Mexico, and I can tell you that as a poor Mexican, it is extremely difficult to qualify to be able to come to the US. Even just as a tourist. It's not the same for everyone, but generally speaking, they require for you to have money, property, assets. And if you're a poor person in Mexico, you don't have any of these things. So you really are not able to apply to do it legally. And again, desperate people do what they have to do. They don't do it because they want to leave their homeland. And most of these people make these decisions with great sacrifice. My mother was not able to see her father for 25 years, and even when he passed away, she was not able to see him. And this is a very common story. Families will literally not see each other for decades and sometimes till the end of their life. And again, I'm trying to get you to think about these people as human beings just like you, because that's what they are. They're made in the image of God just like you. And if you can't see that, I hope you never have to be in a situation like they have. I'm trying to bring awareness to this issue, so please help me share. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments.
It's way easier for someone to become a citizen in Canada and in UK than in the US. It's very difficult in the US. So it's important for people to understand the process rather than jumping to conclusion, calling people names, labeling people. Being an immigrant does not mean that you're a criminal. I know we have people committing crime. Crime is not restricted to immigrants. Even citizens do commit crime. So being an immigrant does not automatically mean you are a criminal or you've offended humanity. No, it's just basically you being in a country without documentation. If you take it back, the people deporting people are also immigrants because that land is not originally theirs. That is the truth. They colonized the people, and I think they should be behind bars because they forcefully came to the land, killed the indigents. They are the ones that have committed more crime than the people that have no papers. You killed the original people and you inherited the land, and you don't even want the ones that survived to even be called citizens or even their neighbors. You don't want that. Now you're kicking them out of their land. It makes no sense.
Trump administration is now detaining legal residents who have lived here for half of a century. I'm not going to stop talking about these people, because if we do, they disappear forever. And you shouldn't believe anyone who says that fighting back on immigration is bad politics. So let me give you a quick rundown of some of the most alarming stories from just the last couple of weeks. Llewellyn Dixon is a 64-year-old woman who works as a lab tech at the University of Washington. She's been a permanent legal resident of the United States for 50 years. But when she returned from visiting family in the Philippines, ICE arrested her at the airport and held her in detention for 3 months. Marcelo Gomez de Silva, an 18-year-old high school student in Massachusetts, was on his way to volleyball practice when ICE pulled him over. Marcelo was brought to the United States as a child in 2012 and was given a student visa. He has no criminal record, but when ICE pulled him over looking for his father, he was arrested and detained. He was supposed to play in the band at graduation, but he's sitting in ICE detention. Also in Massachusetts, Samaron Faria de Souza, the father of a 4-month-old baby, was pulled over on his way to work when he honked at an undercover car full of ICE agents. They arrested him, detained him, and signed a deportation order in his name without his consent, and he's now been deported to Brazil. And in Mississippi, a 31-year-old Danish man named Casper Eriksson, who's lived in the US for 10 years on a green card, went to a routine appointment to finalize his US citizenship. But after they discovered that he failed to file a single document more than 10 years ago, while he was still mourning the loss of his first child, he was detained by ICE. The Trump administration isn't deporting criminals or gang members. They're deporting students, neighbors, fathers, people who have lived here for longer than fascist Stephen Miller has been alive. We have to keep these stories in the spotlight, because if we don't, they'll continue using the cover of darkness to disappear people and take more of our rights. So share this video and follow me to keep fighting back.
I don't care if somebody has their papers or not. I don't care if they're hardworking or not. I don't care if they immigrated here legally or not. You will never be able to convince me that a piece of paper is more valuable than a person's life. You'll never be able to convince me that a piece of paper is justification for throwing somebody in a cage, denying them food and water, tearing them apart from their family, and then deporting them. That's sick. Oh, well, the criminals, the legal way, the this and that. The legal way, you know what's happening when people are showing up to their court hearings, the mandated court hearings, when they do it the legal way? They're getting detained and deported, okay? And you want to talk about criminals? Look who's in the White House, okay? Let's talk about that. And oh, well, the benefits, and they take all of this, and they do all of that. Undocumented people can't get benefits. You know who gets the most benefits in this country? The people running it, okay? Every single time that a working class person gets mad at another immigrant, a billionaire throws a celebration on their yacht, okay? The minute that you start caring more about what a piece of paper says than somebody's life is the minute that I stop caring about what you have to think. If you think what's going on is okay right now, I hope the violence and pain that you're inflicting on hundreds of thousands of people is returned to you 100-fold. No one is illegal on stolen land.
I don't want to hear another white person say the word illegal for the rest of my goddamn life. We are living on stolen land. Our ancestors forcibly and violently seized this land from the indigenous peoples who were living here for generations before we ever showed up. We do not get to call them illegal. We don't own the f***ing planet. Nobody does. We are evolved monkeys with opposable thumbs who use them to write little monkey scribbles on a slice of tree, and we call it a birth certificate with our little monkey sounds. All of it is made up. None of it is real, and it doesn't matter, and it's certainly not a valid reason to rip a terrified screaming child away from his weeping mother. And I am tired of being made to feel like I'm crazy for being angry about this. Capitalism is just narcissism as an economic system. Imperialism is just narcissism as a foreign policy. If the lion can't claim the safari for himself and call the elephant illegal, then neither the can we.
You guys, I think they might have a point, because as a white person, it does sicken me to hear Spanish spoken in Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, San Diego, San Francisco, San Bernardino, San Luis Obispo, Ventura, San Mateo, Calabasas, Camarillo, Calexico, Capitola, Chino Hills, Chico, San Clemente, Sacramento, El Dorado Hills, Chula Vista, Costa Mesa, Goleta, Del Mar, Cupertino, Palo Alto, El Segundo, Fortuna, Gonzales, Hermosa, Redondo, La Quinta, La Puente, Laguna Beach, Laguna Hills, Laguna Niguel, Los Alamitos, Santa Clara, Santa Clarita, Petaluma, Pico Rivera, Asentia, Rancho Santa Margarita, Rancho Cucamonga, Portola Valley, Portola, San Carlos, San Joaquin, San Jose, San Bruno, San Fernando Valley, San Juan Capistrano, Sausalito, Sonoma, Temecula. Super reasonable. I mean, ICE, an agency that has only been around since 2003, they just wouldn't know that California, the state of California, has such a big community of Hispanic, Latino, Latinx people that not only those people, but also white people, black people, everybody people here would want to protect from being terrorized at random by y'all.
It is what it is. They stole the land and they're claiming to be the owners. I get your point. They fought for it. They spilled blood. But that does not mean that they own the land. That does not make them the owners of the land. Calling people illegal while you are illegal. Calling people illegal when you are obviously the most illegal person is crazy. Please let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.